Kia ora, my name is Neen. I call myself Joy Ninja because I am trying to create abundance on a teeny tiny income. And welcome to this week's cash stuffing, which is late. I'm on holiday time. Truth be told, every time I've sat down to do this, one of my parents has rung, or one of my kids, and I've had to shoot out and do some looking after people. So I have $440 there to cash stuff. Which I will do in a moment. But I did promise some of you that I would do a budget reset, and I actually sat down with my Buy Me a Coffee members and did that as a membership video, but it's been a long time since I've talked about budgets on this channel, so I thought I would just give you a high level overview of some of my thoughts around budgeting. And I'm probably going to speed this up a wee bit and set it to music, because the other little job I need to do, as well as working out how I'm going to do my allocations this week, is I have a new binder. I'm going to be retiring this one here for no reason other than I've been looking at these in Wk40, and I couldn't really justify the expense, but one came up on Facebook Market. Okay, so this might sound a bit obvious, but it's been a real stumbling block for me in the past. I've made no secret of the fact that I really dislike having to sit down with lots and lots of bank statements and try and figure out a very detailed budget, but you do need to do one. I'm suggesting though that you don't need to redo it every week for it to still be relevant. In fact, I only look at my budget every 3 to 6 months, or if something changes, like an automatic payment is going up, then I look at it then. What has made my budgeting process manageable is that I have split up my variable expenses from my fixed expenses. My fixed expenses are things that I know that they're a certain cost and they're going out on a certain date. And in that I include power. That does vary, but I can guess at how much that's going to be. So all of those expenses that come out of my bank account through an automatic payment or a direct debit, that would include like hire purchase, rent, debt repayment, those kinds of things. I split those off and I make sure every week I have enough money to cover a week's worth of those expenses sitting in my bank account ready to go. That part of my budget then doesn't require any mental energy from me whatsoever. After I've left the portion of my income in my bank account to cover all of those expenses going out automatically, I take out the rest, which in my case is $440 a week. And I budget this in cash with pen and paper simply because that works better for me in my brain. I know that some people are able to do this online. It just hasn't worked for me. This works for me better. Seeing the actual money, putting it into little pockets, looking through those pockets as I'm sussing out where I'm going to put the $440 I've got to budget this week, that makes more sense to me. I've listened to a lot of Dave Ramsey over the years, and while I don't necessarily agree with everything he has to say, he does say one thing that really makes sense to me, and that is give your money a job. So a lot of people ask me, okay, how do you know how much to put in each envelope? Well, you can see me looking through my pockets, but the broader reason is that I have goals. So I have sat down at the start of the year and worked out, okay, if I need to go to the dentist X amount of times and it's going to cost about this much money, that would mean I would spend, I don't know, $1,000 a year. Then I would take that amount, divide it by 52, because there's 52 weeks in the year and I get paid weekly, and that gives me a target. It gives me a goal, an idea of how much money I might need in that particular sinking fund. For my black binder, which is revolving, that just tends to get filled as I know things are running out that I'll need to repurchase, like vitamins, or my hairdresser's appointments coming up. I will review that and look at how many weeks out there is before that appointment and how much I would need to save. I think the only other thing to add is, look, there's lots of budget templates out there, loads and loads of freebies. If you prefer doing something electronically, I've used sorted.org.nz, and that seems to be a good one. It's got some good tools for like debt, getting out of debt, and various things. So go and look at that. Not sponsored. I also have my own debt workbook, so I would be remiss if I didn't give myself a plug here. I have an approach to budgeting that's more to do with getting a good quality of life and feeling like abundance. So alongside the budgeting workbook, I also take a bit of a look at habits and goals to give you some sort of practical steps towards meeting your budget goals beyond like just not spending. I've found for myself in the past an approach of like putting yourself on a budget diet, it just isn't sustainable in the long run. So I prefer a gently does it approach. But of course, that's not immediate. So I think budgeting has helped me personally develop a bit of patience around myself. I don't think that there's any quick fix for budgeting things. Like a lot of things in life, or money or financial things, I'm just super wary of anyone who says, do X, Y, Z and then you will be rich. I think it's the same thing with budgeting. You do have to do a bit of hard graft, but in the end, you are worth it. Having a sense of peace around knowing you've got enough money to pay for your groceries is super awesome, and it makes those activities, holidays, treats that you buy yourself all the more sweeter to know that you've saved for those and bought them in cash. Is just, honestly, it's a really, really cool feeling. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. Okay, so we're all set up. Let me take you on a little tour of my new celebrations binder. So the stuff in this binder isn't necessary in the way that eating is necessary, but it's still, quality of life stuff. So I made these trackers. They're actually envelopes, and I made a boo-boo. So I'm just using them as trackers, like that. So my birthdays, I'm starting with 170. Christmas, I'm fully funded for this year, so I'm not going to be stuffing this until after Christmas, most likely. Then we've got celebrations, so that covers everything that's not Christmas throughout the year. And I've popped in 2 of my mini savings challenges to get started on. Matariki, of course, is the start of February, and Easter is April. So I will just do some little challenges and keep that money rocking in here. I've decided to just sort of keep it in one envelope, but do a challenge that's sort of meaningful for the next celebration coming up, if that makes sense. So any money left over just gets rolled into the next the next celebration or the next holiday weekend. Travel, there's $200 saved there, and events, I've got $100. And I have actually set myself up with a spare envelope there. I might separate that out from events and make that the wedding one. And then City Break, this is one I made, I believe it's still on my Buy Me a Coffee as a download, and for members I did a little tutorial about how to put this together. So it's an envelope for cash money. You can put your projected budget on the back, and then there's little icons to colour in when you've done each of the things that you budgeted for, like flight, accommodation, tickets, or activities, sightseeing, that kind of thing. Let's get on with our cash stuffing. Let me just open this, even though I've just done it. need to know I'm stuffing the right amounts. I'll tell you what, I've vastly reduced my food budget because as I'm recording this, it's Friday and I don't have the kids back until next Monday, so I haven't needed to grocery shop. I am going to put a little bit in there because Mum might buy a bottle of wine or something, you know, nice to eat. Something a bit more upmarket than what the kids want to eat. Anyway, let's get on with it. I have 100. $20, $40, $60, $82 to $10, $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $80, $90, $100. I knew that one was trying to do me wrong. 310, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, 440. So I have a few kind of amounts ending in $5. We are going to have to do some creative allocations. Let us put 50, 60, 70 into food, and I guess we'll put that 50 into petrol. So I guess because I'm going to need another 50 later on. So pin money as usual, it's $20. It's not much money, but I allow myself just a little bit to spend guilt-free on whatever randomness I would like. Household is going to get $20 as well, so that brings it up to $50, and that will certainly be helpful with garden projects and various bits and pieces I want to do around the house. Beauty is empty. No, it's got $10. It's nearly empty. I just recently had my hair done, so we're saving for the next one. So we've got $20 in beauty. Wellness will get, or well-being, will get $10. We're all stocked up on vitamins, so this is paying for the next shop. And then clothes, I'm going to give 15 too. We're kind of starting again with the clothing, so I will do that. Give myself back the $5 change, which is all to the good because this is going aside for Big Girl. That's her allowance. Hobbies I am going to be skipping. It has $20 in there, I believe. Yeah, it has $20 at the moment. I would much rather put $50 into family fun. Oh, look at that, we're already out of bigger notes. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm not sure if young man has been to the movies with his father, but I know that there's a couple of movies he wants to go to, and Big Girl would like to go to the nail salon. So yeah, this is going to be all gone with those two events, but I'll see what I can do. I've got 20, 40, 60, 80, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50. And it's very likely when I get my money next week and do my cash stuffing, I will allocate some money aside for family fun stuff too. All right, gifts is going to get $5. So I'll put in 10 and take out 5. And now the gifts envelope has 40. That's just Nova in the background, trying to convince me that he hasn't had enough to eat, which is so not true. Giving is my next envelope. I'm going to give that $5. Am I giving it 5? I am giving it 5. But because we don't have a lot of 5s, I think I'm going to swap that out for a 10. So it has 35 in giving. Babes. And then miscellaneous, I'm also going to put 5 into. Cool. So I know I didn't mention, but if you're new here, the black binder is all of those things that get spent fairly regularly, but not necessarily every week. So I need to put money aside, but I don't need to be carrying that around in my wallet. I like to be a bit more planned with my purchases, a bit more mindful, a bit more demure. Sorry, I couldn't help it. All right, education. So this is where my 3 monthly goals come in. That video that I did with the members was all about setting quarterly goals. So in the next 3 months, they're little bite-sized chunks that help me get towards bigger goals. And I wanted to put $250 into birthdays, $200 into dental, and $150 towards next year's education fund. And that's probably not going to be enough, to be honest, to help, because Big Girl has decided she wants to do paint. Well, she's signed up for painting next year. I have a sneaking suspicion that's going to cost lots. So we're just going to add 20 to that. I don't even know what the date is. It's October the something. We'll put the 2nd because I was supposed to do it on Wednesday. And I'll put the fully funded in front. That just means that I've saved and spent $1,000 on the kids' education this year. Yikes. Vision is going to get $5. So it has $125 in the bank and $5 cash in the envelope. All these matching trackers I have made, I think they're on Buy Me a Coffee, but tell me if I'm lying about that. I'm sure they are. Health is getting 5, so we're going to have to do the 10 in, 5 out. So health now has 20. All about baby steps in this binder. So this is my sinking funds that are a little bit more long term, and these amounts tend to build up to bigger amounts than what's in here. I don't really let those, well, I don't have the opportunity for those cash balances to get up very high. Dental is going to get 10, so I can change that to 20 and put in the 10 there. I just deposited funds in the bank, so it's got 120. And remember, dental is one of those like mini goals that I've got, and that's because I know I've got a gum clean next year in February. So I want to go into next year kind of having a plan around knowing how that's going to be paid for. None of us like surprises, and you don't know what's going to happen really in the future, so it's best to try and make a plan early and save for it. It's less stressful anyway, that's what I find. So $10 going into the pet fund. They have $250 online, $260, $270. I feel like the pet fund should have more, but it's just because I spend a lot of money on them. Oh well. Moving on, the car fund has been slowly ticking away. What am I going to do? Ooh, I'm doing 15. So I believe I can colour that in. So it's getting 15. Cool. So I have 100, 200, 300, 450 in the bank for 60, 75. 475. We are getting towards halfway done on this tracker. Nove, get down, doll. Excuse me while I'm going to tell my cat off. Alright, and tech, I usually lament that nothing is going in here, so just for a change I thought I'd put $10 in here today. This is kind of the lowest priority, but again, like what I was saying way back there, you never know when your technology is going to crap out and it's expensive to replace, so you might as well have a little bit of a plan going about how you're going to replace it. 20, 40, 60, 70. I don't know anyone my age or younger now who doesn't have at least a phone. And for most of us, it's a phone and a laptop or a tablet. So, you know, good to have a little plan about how you're going to replace that. No, we're going here. Birthdays. Birthdays is going to get $20 today. Yes. 20. I know it's not the 2nd of October, but yeah. Plus, I'm doing that wrong already. 190. Crikeys. So, right, $20 going in, and we have 150 online, 170, 80, 90. And we're going out for dinner next week to celebrate my brother's birthday. So some of that will be spent on that. Now, Christmas is fully funded, so for the moment I'm not going to be putting any more in. But I will get cracking on Matariki today. So, I had allocated $10. So $10 into that challenge. That one saves a total of $90. And I just think it's a good time of year to have a little bit of extra money for weekend trips and getaways. But it's also, you know, a pressurized time around if you've got kids going back to school. It's an expensive time of year. Travel is going to get 10 as well. Nove, now he's in the bin. Get out of the bin. Do I have to put you outside? Honest to goodness, I fed them before I started the camera. So that has 210, and it's taken a year, but it's good to see a little bit of money slowly building up in this. I have lots of friends around the country that I miss and I would like to go visit, so you know, that's that. Events is also going to get 10. So that's now 110. And I think that's all we're doing in this binder for today. Cool. Last up, we will finish up with my long term. In here I have this weekly challenge. So over 12 months I'm doing one of these a week, and I had a sneaky $2 left in Grumpy Cash. So that's what I'm going to use for that. Really maximising the old budget here. But this builds up quite nicely, and at the end of the month I just put it towards my detonator. So debt, I am very much in the middle of this process of paying this back, and it kind of feels never ending, but I have come up with a plan that I hope will work out for me, since my energy levels have been kind of in the bin. But I am hoping to do a couple of markets, Christmas markets, with some of my handcrafted journals. And if I'm successful there, the hope is that I'll be able to put a fair whack in this and really get it down. I'm unlikely to get it all finished by the end of the year, but look, you never know. So anyway, as and when, I stuff a little bit extra here and there, but I put this challenge into the detonator as well. And then at the end of the month, I just tot up what I've got. Every $80 is one of those detonators, so that's how we're doing that. Emergency fund is $15 off being fully funded, and I just can't. I can't do that. So there's $10, and that's sitting at 1K. I really should put a fully funded in there, but then I'll forget that there's this $10 in cash, so I'll put the 10 in the front like that. At the end of the month, when I do my banking, that'll go into the bank, and yeah, we'll call that done. Oh, I didn't do it from last time, never mind. 1, 2, 3. 750. I must have put 240. 990. Okay, and that's not the date, but that will do. Okay, so that's that. I have got $20 left, and I'm going to be a good grown-up and put it in my worthy envelope, which has 20, 30, now it has 50, and this is just a little bit extra towards my retirement savings. And again, at the end of the month, we will pop that into my bank account so I can get it transferred into my Kiwi Saver. Right, so that's that. Let's just count the change. I'll say hooroo now, because I'll just probably set this to music and speed it up so you don't have to watch the boringness. But I really appreciate you being here with me. I hope that those few little comments and hints and tips at the start were helpful for you, if that's what you were after. As always, for those of you that return week after week, I'm so appreciative, and sorry about being late this week. Yeah, it's just life be lifing, mate. I do have some money to do a Sunday stuffing, a savings challenge stuffing, so I'm going to record this straight after, and that'll be going up on Monday. All right, kia ora. 3, 4, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 460. No, you're so bloody rude. Come on in. It's $15 off being fully funded, and I just can't. I can't do that. So there's $10, and that's sitting at 1K. I really should put a fully funded in there, but then I'll forget that there's this $10 in cash. So I'll put the 10 in the front like that. At the end of the month when I do my banking, that'll go into the bank, and yeah, we'll call that done. Oh, I didn't do it from last time, never mind. 1, 2, 3, 750. I must have put 240, 990. Okay, and that's not the date, but that will do. Okay, so that's that. I have got $20 left, and I'm going to be a good grown-up and put it in my worthy envelope, which has 20, 30, now it has 50, and this is just a little bit extra towards my retirement savings. And again, at the end of the month, we will pop that into my bank account so I can get it transferred into my Kiwi Saver. Right, so that's that. Let's just count the change. I'll say hooroo now, because I'll just probably set this to music and speed it up so you don't have to watch the boringness. But I really appreciate you being here with me. I hope that those few little comments and hints and tips at the start were helpful for you if that's what you were after. As always, for those of you that return week after week, I'm so appreciative, and sorry about being late this week. Yeah, it's just life be lifing, mate. I do have some money to do a Sunday stuffing, a savings challenge stuffing, so I'm going to record this straight after, and that'll be going up on Monday. All right, kia ora.